Let's see.
Yeah, you can see sizokhuluma. We are just have got sorting out some technical glitch. We're not going to talk about her being late. How even? No, we can't do that. Yes. Yeah.
No, Sipo, what is worse then she says, you know what, maybe we should not use the studio because things do not work there. They complain. All they complain about is because you tell them things that about us.
The technical glitch could be anything.
Yeah.
Not the studio.
Okay.
Allow me to settle down and.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, then I'll tell them that we've got some technical glitch. Can we? 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So I want you to.
Yeah, you just look at the camera here.
I can't see ukuthi abantu bakhona yini labaningi angibaboni.
You need to log to that one. Because the one for displaying cannot log in.
But I can talk.
You can talk.
Connect me with talk. You send file apology at 5-10 minutes.
No, if you talk, they hear you.
Eh?
They'll hear you. If you talk,
Ngisho log.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I say talk, just talk. It means they hear you.
Yeah, then we will cut and pause. Okay. You let me know.
Check your voice. Check your voice.
Hello, how are you? Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Testing. Is it fine? Hello. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, colleagues. Let me start by welcoming you to our training. We were supposed to start at 1 o'clock, but we'd like to apologize to you, colleagues. We're just sorting out a few things. Then we will start. Can you just give us just 10 minutes, colleagues? Then we will start our training. Our sincere apologies. We've got some technical glitch at the studio, but we'll start now. Just 10 minutes, then we can start. Thank you very much. Colleagues, please stay on your link. We'll be starting very soon. Thank you.
Sure.
Likisa shambo.
Going to put it. You put it underneath here. Okay, that's the. Just hope it does not irritate you. No, she
Whatever my boss is saying.
whatever you put.
Yeah.
You are fine, man. Don't worry. Yeah, okay. Sit down. Sit down. It's us the data are too slow. Well, now you are fine. Why can't I get? How did this thing get out of here now? Okay. And then we just need to put it. Okay. Because
Or
are
in
you going
front,
to be-
in
are
front.
are you going to be wearing this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't put them
On
because,
top.
yeah, because then you are going to be pulling them back.
Okay.
I just need to. Why is it now not doing?
Maybe it's what I'm wearing.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not hiding.
What I hide?
Yes, so that it does not look ugly or on your chest.
Okay.
Let me try and see if I pull it here. Okay.
Yeah, but it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. I hope it does not go on your dress.
Okay.
Okay, so then when you sit down, I'm going to use your laptop to
No, it's not necessary because skill room is a presentation again. I did send you. So meaning that I'm disconnected
Now we can connect it.
or send it to you.
Okay, can send it to me. Yeah, I'm worried. No, I don't think the microphone is. Yeah, I don't think it should be okay.
Mar call it, Bonile. Like call it. Like receive. Why? Oh, okay. And I get away now. We busy going. I did send, or maybe it's a my.
No. Can we have a memory stick? Then
I don't have a memory stick.
No. I'm talking.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
All right.
and then
Yeah.
we put it on it.
Yes.
We put it on that laptop there.
Okay.
That we are going to
Let
use.
it will work then.
Yeah, you can just put it
Okay.
on the memory stick and then we'll.
Memory stick. If it's in memory stick or again,
Yeah, that one. You can just put it there.
training on GEC. Ne?
Okay, let's confirm if it's there with me. Let's go there to it. There.
Yes, it is.
Yes, thank you.
Let me remove it safely. Computers do sense when you pen it. All right.
Put it on her laptop first and then on with us. On your laptop first, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we can sit you down there.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can say no.
Slowly have you joined.
Bonile?
You are the important person.
Huh? Yes.
Where is my stick?
You are an important person. Let's leave her.
Okay.
Do you need some?
Oh, sorry.
Plan.
I think also Zwishinja, late.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay. We also introduce the whole thing.
We're not like introduce.
Eh?
What I introduce, I can record the administration of national tests. How to
What
conduct.
is your role?
Then I'll take them through the presentation.
You've got the presentation.
Eh.
So this time was the presentation. Just
Yeah.
find the whole presentation.
Yeah.
And my role?
Your role is to introduce
Okay.
and to add on the invigilation tasks and the monitors roles. Yeah. So I
It's
reckon
not part of the presentation.
it is.
It's part.
Eh,
Okay.
so I can
But just
give
to
you a
stress
slot.
upon-
Yes.
To stress upon. The number of questions, I'm going to take all the questions.
When I
Let's start
outline
with the
to
first 10.
first 10
Yes, well,
respond. Okay. All right.
How
Let's
long
go ahead.
presentation yakho?
It's not long because I'm not going to speak to everything.
Okay. All right. So we do the roll call. Who's supposed to be in the team? The GDC coordinators.
The SAT coordinators and
Yes.
BBE departmental heads. Hey, into your mother tongue teaching for grade 4.
Departmental heads. GC coordinators. SAT. What else?
SAT coordinators and then departmental heads
So
for
basically,
MTBD.
I must be program directing. Kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I hand over to the program, the introductions, kind of a thing, opening remarks. Okay. You know, for what is GEC important to you?
No.
Yeah.
The fact that we are in the first implementation phase, we are no longer piloting.
Or it's first implementation
Yeah.
phase.
And then
But is it-
MTBEE is
it
the
is-
first pilot. Yeah.
In my first implementation, what is the scope?
Kore
How
re
many
ntlo,
schools?
420, the same as last year. Nothing
420.
changed.
Okay.
And then we have up to 2027 to fully implement in all schools.
Okay. All right.
MTBEE yone ke grade 4 ko primary.
What is grade 4? Grade 4 one?
Grade 4, they are piloting it in grade 4 MTBEE.
English or mathematics?
So nka siya laptop mo. Okay.
Guys,
Yes.
I mean, I'm going to join and I is join the lens from your studio, man. I'm a phone now.
Go to the studio. Go to the studio. Join two for you
But
later.
they're fine over here. What am I going to program?
So the chairs, then you'll have to sit. You are not sitting there now. You are
No,
sitting
sitting
on the other
side.
side.
We
Because
should
this
so
is-
guide in
yeah.
terms of questions.
This,
Oh, I
no,
mean,
no,
I'm
we
join.
will bring the
laptop.
the
When-
So don't
laptop.
join it, laptop.
Yeah,
Join it when it's time. We'll bring
we'll bring it.
Gauteng 48 laptop yam.
Okay.
Gauteng 48
You
bese
want to
uyangijoyina
come up
bengivulile
with-
link
Yeah, yeah.
bengivulile link.
Okay. Is it better?
Yes.
Should I move you forward a bit?
Yes, please.
Oh.
Yeah, no, African figure doesn't allow. It's fine.
Okay.
So this one-
This one. Okay, submit. It will have to be.
Good.
Yes.
Ibhethu lami nje.
Elakho.
Ithulile lami.
You switch it off. I think you mute it. Let me know I'm going to switch it off. Okay, just make sure that it does not fall off your back here.
Oh, I know. I won't move.
Because your hands are moving. Let's see.
Okay.
If the hand is free, yeah, it's free. Yeah, so. yeah,
Why
it's
did
all-
I? Why
it's
did I
okay.
bring the car key?
No, oh, okay, it's fine. So, that's still low.
Going on.
I'm still low. Yeah, she's too high.
She's too high.
I ke gane ke pause mara yanong a be high. High.
Now,
This
Are the
actually.
directors in the meeting?
yes,
Yeah, I think so.
that's better. Oh,
And the
it better now?
CS, not directors, but my director, I'm expecting her. The district coordinators also
Okay.
are supporting.
Can you go on?
Can you get both the voices? Just talk. I'll check if I'm getting all the voices. Just talk, chit chat between the two of you.
So,
Chit-chat.
Sipo, can I turn it on now? Right?
Yeah, you can tell.
Okay.
Naki tenile on, or is it turned on?
It's on.
All right.
It's on.
Is it on?
I think so. Let me see.
Are you getting all of them?
Hi.
It's on.
Hi. Yeah, you on?
Yeah, it's on.
Hi.
It's fine. It's fine.
Hello.
Just put it there.
We are fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So when we are talking to them, you look here.
Okay.
Right. So at the beginning, that's where you look. And then, of course, we have got your slides. In case you need to just check them, you can check them.
But my eyes must always be there.
Must always be there.
Okay, Chairperson.
All right.
Until when it's time for the questions, then you just talk to them.
Okay. All right. Ngicela ukuthi uma kufanele apresent, I will move out so that you check my questions and come back.
You'll move out.
Yeah, so you shift the focus to her so that I move out of the studio.
Okay, no, it's fine. So
My
you
secretary
stay-
I'll stay until she starts presenting.
When she starts
Presenting.
presenting, and then
Maybe, yeah.
we will indicate to you.
Yeah, then I
It's
move
fine.
out, yes,
Then
yeah.
you move out. But when you move out, come
This way, yes. Okay.
please.
All right, yeah, you'll indicate when we can start.
Are you ready to start?
Yes. Testing, testing, testing.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Well, I close the door, then we can start.
Okay. Testing the sound, testing. Testing, testing. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We're hoping that somebody will be just monitoring ourselves. We are here, colleagues. We are just checking the sound once more. Good afternoon, colleagues. Once more, we apologize for a late start. We are aware that we're supposed to start exactly at 1 o'clock, but we had some technical glitches. We are hoping that it will be resolved and they're not going to dent today's program, which is the GEC training. Colleagues would like to welcome you. My name is Sci-Bono Mpele. I'm part of the task team in the GEC. I would like to welcome each and every one of you with me. At the studio, I've got Mapula Lenswe, our Gauteng GEC coordinator. I'm sure everyone is aware of her. You know her. Colleagues, a special welcome to each and every one of you. Even though we cannot see you, but we know that you have joined. We have checked on the link. When we were checking, we were about 160 people, which we appreciate the attendance that you have given in the platform that we are where we are at. Colleagues, it's this time of the year again once more where we have to touch base with our GEC processes and ensure that we are all ready. So before we start, colleagues, we'll just to check that everyone is in the meeting. All our districts are part of the training. We've got our Gauteng North, Gauteng West, Tshwane North, Tshwane South, Gauteng East, Ekurhuleni North, Sidibeng East, Sidibeng West, Johannesburg East, Johannesburg North, Johannesburg South, Johannesburg West, Johannesburg Central, Tshwane West, and Ekurhuleni South. Those are the colleagues that we are expecting in the meeting. But we'd like to say, colleagues, we would like to also to acknowledge the presence of our directors in the meeting, especially our director in the assessment directorate, Ms. Bongima Ncipu, whom this project falls directly into his shoulders. And we also acknowledge our chief director, Ms. Nadine Pote, who is the chief director in the assessment and exams. We recognize the presence of all our GEC coordinators in different districts. We also recognize the presence of our departmental heads at all our schools, our SAT coordinators, and we are here, colleagues, to say we are done with the piloting project. We are now in the first full implementation phase as the Gauteng province, where we have our 420 schools participating in the GEC, which is the project that is going to move until the 2027. We're hoping that we'll have our full implementation by that period. But we are here, colleagues, to say, let's join hands and be together in this project. Maybe before we even continue, let's just check the ground rules. There are different platforms where we have joined, the Zoom link. We can also join on the Sci-Bono YouTube link. That's also present if you cannot join on the Zoom link. Please, let's stay until the end of the meeting. There's a chat where you can post your questions, your concerns, your comments, and everything. We would like to say, please use that. And also on the chat, we'll be posting a link where you register yourself. That is the attendance register. That is we are going to verify your attendance when we start our project visiting our schools. We like to have an evidence that you have been trained to conduct the GEC curriculum test. Colleagues, we don't have much of our time in our hands. Hence we are saying, colleagues, let's just give ourselves some time and concentrate on this activity and ensure that we listen attentively. We really appreciate your presence and also availing yourself once more. Without any waste of time, colleagues, I'll hand over to Ms. Mapole Linswe, who's going to take us through the presentation, and then we'll note the questions throughout. We're not going to stop here. We'll take the questions right at the end. I'm hoping that you are ready. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Mbele. Colleagues, good afternoon. Good afternoon, and thank you for coming. We are about to start our presentation, and thank you, Ms. Mbele, for introducing the GEC to us and reminding us that we only have until 2027 to make sure that all our grade 9s are implementing. The MTBEE colleagues from the sample schools, you are also welcome. Whatever presentation you are going to flag here will apply to also the MTBEE. It is a national test. GEC is also a national test. So the conduct and administration and management of both national tests are similar. So colleagues, pay attention, please take notes, please make inputs somewhere on the side, and then our chairperson will allocate us time to ask questions or read questions from us. Thank you. Let's start, colleagues, with the presentation. Okay. All right, let me quickly go through the purpose. We all know that we are about to embark on the national test. Now we have to remind each other of the do's and don'ts, colleagues. But we'll focus on providing you with the processes to be followed when you are conducting and administering at your schools. Colleagues, we invited SAT coordinators of public ordinary schools who are also not involved in GC and MTBEE, because the administration of end of the year assessment applies to them as well. So to facilitate the process and procedures to be followed by districts and schools to ensure compliance, colleagues, with the GEC National Curriculum Test Administration guidelines, which we hope that your district coordinators have shared with you to ensure every day, every learner will receive the same chances, colleagues, in respect of writing either the curriculum test or the MTBEE tests, to articulate the processes and procedures such that all learners write under similar appropriate conditions. Colleagues, end of the year, whether it's a test or it's an examination, we follow the examination regulations to ensure that no learner is fairly, to ensure that every learner is fairly and not unfairly disadvantaged by incorrect conduct procedures. Colleagues, our learners need to get used to following the national conduct and administration of national papers or provincial papers, and not be surprised when they get to grade 12. To inform our chief invigilators as to what is expected during monitoring. Colleagues, this is just an introduction and a reminder to all the other colleagues who are not familiar with GEC that GEC is an assessment model that is introduced in grade 9. And right now, as we are speaking, we are preparing for the last component, which is curriculum test. It replaces the school-based exam, colleagues. Now, colleagues, the MTBEE, it is piloted in selected schools, grade 4 schools. The DBE has chosen 20 schools where the MTBEE is piloted, colleagues. It's not implemented, it's not implementation phase like GEC, but it is still a pilot, colleagues. We are expecting the pilot to increase, the number to increase next year. Colleagues, you have all received the S11 of 2025, which stipulates everything that we need to know concerning the MTBEE. Now, we are about to get into what are the protocols that we expect schools to follow when they print. Colleagues, remember in 2024, we as the province managed to print for all our GEC sample schools, which are 420, and we distributed printed question papers. However, due to financial constraints, colleagues, that we are all aware of, we are going to depend on our GC schools as well as our 20 MTBEE schools to print for themselves. And thank you very much, colleagues, for printing the integrated projects in term 3. Please relay the message of appreciation to our principals. Now, we need to remind each other of what is expected throughout the province during the printing distribution of the national test, colleagues. Just a reminder that our principals, even though we do have GC coordinators at school, we do have SAT coordinators, we have departmental heads that we are relying on, those that are in this meeting. We have the principal who is the academic leader of that school and who is accountable for any provincial and national test that is being administered at their school. So it is imperative, colleagues, that we start with it, that you are not on your own, and we are expecting you to work hand in glove with the principal of the school. Now, the DBE released the 2025 administration guideline for GEC, where everything that needs to be adhered to concerning administration of GEC is stipulated. And we are hoping that our district coordinators manage to distribute to all the GEC schools. Now, these are the roles and responsibilities of our GEC coordinators. We are not going to go through them. Our GEC coordinators are aware of them. But we are going to emphasize their responsibilities in terms of administration and conduct of the curriculum tests. Now, the following are the national timetables that were released by national. Remember, colleagues, GEC is a national paper for mainstream schools. We have talk schools that are special schools, or what is referred to school of skills that are offering talk. Those schools of skill that are 44 are part of us, as a GEC team. However, the DBE is not yet ready to administer the GEC curriculum test for our special learners. So we are still developing our own provincial papers, and thank you very much for talk teams that work endlessly and effortlessly. They work very hard, colleagues, to develop those tests and quality assure them. Thank you very much. They are ready. Now, as we go through the presentation, please note that we have mainstream for grade 9. We have year 4, which is for talk schools. So both those grades will be administering the curriculum test respectively. Now, the following are the timetables. Remember that this subject, the 5 subjects are the only ones that are administered in GEC. The rest of the school subjects must also be planned for in terms of writing of the end of the year test and examination, colleagues. But for GEC, we focus only on these 5, and then this is the timetable that is released by national department. We are starting our GEC administration on the 10th of November, and it will run up until the 18th of November. Colleagues, please note the time frame, note the duration of those papers which must be adhered to, unless if learners have been given accommodations which are approved by the DBEC. Colleagues, the rest of the subjects in the school must be blended around this timetable. In other words, whatever comes, colleagues, we cannot change the times to start for these national papers, and we cannot change the dates. We have to work around it. Now, this is the timetable for our talk schools. Remember, colleagues, I said the provincial papers are for talk schools only. So we have developed, we have quality assured, they are ready. Now they are going to be administered the same time as the ones for mainstream. Now, if you note down, if you noted the timetable, colleagues, it's a little bit different from the national one. Remember, our learners at special schools or schools of skill are learners with learning barriers, and they need to be accommodated. In doing so, we have only allocated 1 hour per paper for each paper. Now, instead of writing 1 session, unlike the mainstream schools, the talk schools will have 2 sessions every day. So from the 10th to the 18th, they will be administering the subjects that are portrayed there, 2 sessions per day, 1 hour sessions. Now, they are also administering or starting the administering at 9 o'clock, just like the mainstream. Now, colleagues, the MTBEE colleagues, remember that we are still piloting, and in our pilot, we are focusing only on mathematics and NS Tech in our grade 4, 20 schools. Remember, there are 20 pilot schools, so we are only going to administer in the 2. Here is your timetable. Unlike the GC, the MTBEE, you are expected to start at 8:30 and not 9 o'clock. Colleagues, I know it's a norm that our examinations in our schools commences at 9 o'clock. But for the MTBEE colleagues, please adhere to the national timetable. Start at 9 o'clock and ensure that you adhere to the duration of the paper as it is stipulated by the DBE. 1 hour, 20 minutes for an S-Tech and 1 hour only for mathematics, unless if you have learners who have approved accommodation for extra time and for other accommodations. Colleagues, as I've indicated with GEC, the rest of the subjects that are not affected by MTBEE must be allocated around the national timetable because it is now end of the year test time. Now, how will the schools receive the GEC papers, and how will our MTBEE schools receive their question papers? Colleagues, remember we printed in 2025-24. In 2025, however, as I've alluded, we are not going to print for our schools. We are requesting schools to print for themselves. Now, we are all requested or expected to plan, prepare, and implement the printing and packaging and storaging of GEC curriculum, because everything will be on your hands, colleagues. Now, the coordinators, colleagues, for GC and SAT coordinators in the MTBEE schools will receive a link, colleagues. We have received the electronic version of the national papers from the DBE. We also received the printed copies for us, not for the schools. Now, the procedure is we are going to release the link with the question papers for GEC, another link with the question papers for MTBEE, where schools will access the question papers to print. Now, the head of exams, colleagues, and assessment at head office will appoint officially the GEC chief invigilator. In the MTBEE schools, we are relying on the chief invigilator there in the primary school to make sure that they prepare for the administration of the MTBEE. Now, colleagues, expect the appointment letters very soon. If they are not coming to you, to your email by the end of this week, it will be early next week, colleagues. But you have to be officially appointed. The appointment that is official is saying to you, you are held accountable as the coordinator of GC in your school. Now, each one of the GC test colleagues in the link will be password protected. So you'll receive the link from your district coordinators, and the link will contain all the question papers. But however, none of you will be able to open each question paper up until the password for the question paper is released. Now, colleagues, you have 3 days as a school to print the question paper that you have opened. So for instance, on the 10th, you are starting with English as in English home language for GEC. And we are also starting with MTBEE. So when you count 3 days backwards, it means that on Wednesday, the week before, you will have received a password that will be able to open that paper that is written on the 10th. So for each and every paper, you are given 3 days. Colleagues, 3 days is adequate for accommodating load sheddings and all the other glitches that schools might experience during printing. We are very, very strict, colleagues, in terms of selecting the printing team for the national papers, colleagues. We are avoiding leaks. We are avoiding the irregularities, colleagues. So it is imperative that the appointed chief invigilator start the process of appointing the team that will help him or her to print the question papers as they are, the passwords are released. Colleagues, the GDE has developed a standard operating procedure manual to assist you as schools, GEC schools and MTBEE schools, on procedures to be followed when printing, distribution, even packaging and packing those question papers, colleagues. It is imperative that we follow the very same processes or procedures that are followed by the NCS team. So we hope that the GC coordinators at our districts have distributed these SOPs to you. And if there are any questions on the SOP, colleagues, please do not hesitate to ask. Now, the curriculum test and MTBEE will replace the normal school-based examination in terms of grade 9 and the school-based tests for grade 4. Remember, grade 4s do not have that exam. So we are expecting schools to have budgeted for their normal end-of-the-year test. That is why we are requesting you to assist us by printing your own question papers. Now, like I've indicated, that SOP was developed by GDE to ensure integrity of that national examination, colleagues. It is very important that we adhere to it. Now, all protocols stipulated in the SOP, colleagues, must be adhered to. As I've indicated, passwords will only be released to the chief invigilator who is appointed directly to their email. The chief invigilator will coordinate the printing of the question papers, colleagues. It's imperative that as we are in this training, we ensure that we sign the declaration of confidentiality, colleagues. You know, it's a norm that when we handle the national and the provincial papers, we have to sign and declare that will not leak those papers. So the Chief Invigilator, we are relying on you to coordinate the signing of the declaration by all the teams, the grade 9 learners, the grade 9 teachers, I beg your pardon, the year 4 teachers, the SMT members, each and every person who's going to interact with those national papers. The Chief Invigilator will file the signed declaration forms in their files so that when we come and verify if the declarations were signed and understood, they are there in the files. Now, packaging and storage of the printed question papers, colleagues, they must be safely kept. Preferably, we are requesting that the strong room that is utilized for NSC national papers will also accommodate the DBE, GEC national tests, as well as the MTBEE. Otherwise, if the school have another storage that is secure, that they would like to utilize, you are welcome, as long as the access to that storage is controlled as we are controlling the one for the NSC colleagues. The school coordinator should identify and prepare the distribution station. That distribution station is the one that will be utilized on the 10th up until the 18th. Your examination team, your invigilators must know where the distribution table is, and they must know what time they must report there so that the papers can be distributed, just like we do when we do with NSC. Now, the declaration of confidentiality, colleagues, we have one from the DBE, we have ours for GDE, colleagues. It's up to you. And it's up to the district coordinator when they were mediating to you, which one do you agree to utilize as the district. Colleagues, in front of you, you have two, one for GEC and the other one for MTBEE. It is imperative, colleagues, that we sign these declarations. Now, passaways, as I've indicated, colleagues, they are only released to the Chief Invigilator. I'm stressing this so that we avoid irregularities. Now, writing of the curriculum tests for GEC, these are the expectations that we must write them under controlled conditions, just like any other school-based examination or any other school-based at the end of year tests, colleagues. All schools must adhere to the 9 o'clock starting time, including the talk schools, except for the MTBEE, who starts at 8:30. Now, the Chief Invigilator, colleagues, these are the expectations, and we do this every year, whether with NSC training or with our GET training, to say they must be officially appointed and they must sign and return the appointment letters. When you receive the appointment letters signed by the head of department, head of exams and assessment, you are requested humbly to sign, scan, and email back to us. Now, you are supposed to be drawing the timetable as a school, which will also incorporate the GEC, which will also incorporate the MTBEE. We don't expect schools to draft 2 timetables. No, you don't separate them, just incorporate the dates and the times. We are expecting you to plan on how the learners will be sitting, colleagues. We are not going to dictate to schools how to run their examinations in terms of ensuring that all the venues are allocated to the national papers. When the days, during the days when the national papers are written or administered, we just appealing to schools to be flexible and ensure that you don't have all the other grades administering their end of the year test, their end of the year exam simultaneously, because it's going to cause a lot of struggle. Now, colleagues, we are requesting humbly for you to take through those GEC learners, take them through. What are the expectations? Train them on what is expected, because there will be monitors from the DBE, there will be monitors from the province, there will be monitors from the district, and we don't want to overwhelm those learners. They must know that they are writing a national paper, and so rules and regulations are a little bit strict. So train them, colleagues. It will help them a lot. There will be monitoring, colleagues, like I've indicated, but it is imperative that as a chief invigilator, you keep the monitors register. And because you cannot have monitors register in each and every one of the classes, decide where exactly, which class will be utilized for monitors register, and indicate on the door of that classroom or that examination room so that all the monitors are aware, colleagues. We do not expect anyone to come and monitor without an appointment letter to monitor NSC, without a tag that identifies that monitor. We don't want to let strangers in our schools. And then the declaration, we have indicated the importance thereof. Colleagues, we are requesting and advising you to keep files. As chief invigilator, I'm talking to the GC coordinators. I'm talking to the SAT coordinators in MTBEE schools. You are supposed to resume the responsibility of being a chief invigilator and make sure that you keep a file. A file is just to make sure that all this paperwork that is needed during administration and conduct are in one place and you are organized. If any monitor is requesting any information concerning the writing of the national papers, you know that the file is there with you. We are just recommending these pointers to keep those administrative documents. You can keep more. It is your file as a chief invigilator. Now, invigilators must be reminded. Remember, it is imperative that we train our invigilators. Don't take it for granted that they are not NSC invigilators, so you don't train them. We are expecting to train all of them. They must not invigilate the subject they are teaching. They must adhere to the invigilation timetable, colleagues. It is imperative, colleagues, that there must be a relief timetable. We don't want, when monitors come to your school, you will find that a teacher is who's supposed to be invigilating is in the ladies or is in the gents because there was no one outside to relieve them. There must be a chief invigilator roaming around outside the invigilation, the examination rooms in case there is an emergency, colleagues. We must ensure as invigilators, colleagues, that we hand out the attendance register and we move the attendance registers from the one desk, one table to the other. Let us not make it the job or the responsibility of the learners to move the attendance register amongst themselves or between themselves. The invigilator must actively move the attendance register and ensure that each and every learner is signing. Colleagues, we cannot overemphasize no cell phones. Please, all our learners, we know that they have smartphones, but we are requesting, don't take it for granted. Remind them not to bring them, not to bring those smartwatches, not to bring those earphones, those buttons that are put in the ears. Please, we are requesting, colleagues, and please ensure that your classes, your exam centers are ready, are exam ready, are end of the year test ready. Colleagues, we are requested to afford our learners 10 minutes at least to go through the question paper without holding a pen in their hands. Let them get used to that norm so that by the time they get to FET, they're already used to the fact that we have to whoosah, breathe, and go through the question paper without attempting to answer. You have 10 minutes to do that. Invigilators, we cannot overemphasize no smoking, no eating, no sitting down. No invigilator must be found sitting down whilst invigilating colleagues or keeping yourself busy by knitting or some of us sleeping. It is imperative that we stay alert. Colleagues, the answer books for each session must be counted against the attendance register. It's very, very important. It is important that the invigilator collects the answer books and the question paper, colleagues. Those question papers, please do not leave the learners to live with them. They belong to the school for revision. Every question paper, whether it's MTBEE, whether it's GEC, is a property of the school and must be collected by the invigilator. Invigilator, do not let learners stand up and bring the script and the question paper to you. Collect. When we train our learners, we must remind them to raise up their hands when they are about to leave. Obviously, you'll follow the protocol for the writing of examination in terms of the duration, colleagues. But please, it's important invigilators collect from my table. By the time you release me, I stand up from my table. There's no question paper in front of me. There is no script in front of me. And at the end of the session, let us count against the attendance register. Colleagues, those are learners' marks are very, very important. I'm going to leave the rules and regulations, the do's and don'ts for our learners up to you to read to them. Remember that meeting that I requested that by the 10th, or before the 10th, you should have taken them through the rules and regulations. Those are the rules and regulations. Colleagues, you can add, but do not subtract. Please, we are requesting. We are not going to go through them now. Now, monitoring, colleagues. It's imperative that even though you are not monitors as colleagues that are in here, you must know what is expected from the monitors that will be coming to your school during administration and the conduct of the national test. They will be utilizing the monitoring tool that you see in your screen for GEC as well as for the MTBEE. Just make sure that you have an extra copy in your file as a chief invigilator for emergency, but we are expecting our monitors to bring their own copies of the monitoring tool. Remember, colleagues, we are expecting national officials to be monitoring MTBEE as well as GEC as well. So this is the schedule that they have just sent us today as the province, to indicate the schools that they will be monitoring and supporting during the administration of the nation. We don't want to surprise you. We want you to be able to be aware and be aware that you are expecting DBE monitors. Yes, provincial monitors will be there as well as district ones. Colleagues, all these forms that are displayed in the presentation will be sent to you, and some of them you have already received them from your district. Now, this is the monitoring tool that we have crafted especially for MTBEE. So when you are administering those 2 exams for MTBEE and there are monitors, they must be utilizing this monitoring tool, not any other monitoring tool, colleagues. Now, this is the attendance register for all the monitors who are coming to monitor either MTBEE or GEC. We are humbly requesting the MTBEE schools, the departmental heads, please utilize the GEC monitoring tool, not monitoring tool, I beg your pardon, the attendance register for the monitors to draft your own MTBEE monitors register. We need that data, colleagues. It's imperative. Now, marking, colleagues. We are expecting that all the national tests that are going to be administered at your schools to be marked just like the end of the year exam that are school-based, just like the end of the year tests that are school-based. Those grade 9 teachers will be marking their own GEC papers. Those MTBEE grade 4 teachers teaching mathematics and NS Tech are expected to conduct marking. Now, we are giving guidelines, colleagues, to say it is advisable to ensure that we follow these marking guidelines processes. Now, for GEC, colleagues, there will be a centralized marking guideline discussion, what we call memo discussion. However, for MTBEE, we do not have a national or a provincial memo discussion. However, we are encouraging the departmental heads for MTBEE schools to coordinate group marking or to coordinate discussion of the marking memorandum from the DBE amongst your grade 4 teachers. It is your responsibility to ensure that we have the same understanding as grade 4 teachers for mathematics and NS Tech before we start marking individually. If it is possible, encourage group marking. But as for the GEC, there are processes and procedures for marking guideline discussion. Just like in 2025, the DBE will conduct the national marking guideline discussion for all provinces on the day the paper is written. In other words, the national marking guideline discussions by DBE are conducted on the 10th after the English home language paper. So 30 minutes after the paper is administered, National will start their national marking guideline discussion, which will run up to 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock on the day. And that affects our provincial marking guideline discussions with schools, colleagues. Hence, our discussion starts the following day. We don't want to be holding marking guideline discussions with you after working hours, colleagues. It is imperative. Now, it is important as chief invigilators to make sure that you identify a venue, identify a class, identify a staff room, any centralized place in your school where your teachers for each subject that is being administered to converge for the provincial marking guideline discussion. We don't have representatives who will be representing the rest of grade 9 teachers. No. Each and every grade 9 teacher in a GC school is responsible for marking their own scripts. No one will be allowed to mark any script if they did not attend the marking guideline discussion. Colleagues, is imperative. And we are relying on chief invigilators to ensure that this is emphasized, colleagues. So it is important that all teachers converge in that room. Obviously, you'll utilize the one laptop to project the virtual meeting. It is imperative that we prepare before the provincial virtual meeting. On the day the paper is written, as much as the discussions have not yet started, you will receive the draft memo. You'll receive the draft marking guideline. You are reminded, colleagues, that do not start marking learner script using the draft marking guideline. We send it to you only to facilitate preparation for the provincial marking guideline discussions. So the chief invigilator ensure that on the day, on the 10th, all the English home language teachers converge after the writing of that particular paper. They will be utilizing the draft memorandum. They will be utilizing the question paper that the learner have just administered to discuss the answers that are there in the marking guideline memorandum. Remember, our contexts are different, colleagues. It is not, it's not possible for one answer to be applicable to all our learners. So our learners are relying on us to be actively preparing for the marking guideline discussion. You note down the inputs that you want to discuss the following day when you are having the provincial marking guideline discussions with your coordinators from the head office and with your coordinators from the district. You need to be prepared and say, for our learners, this is the answer that we think most of the learners will answer or will provide. We have taught our learners to answer this way, and this particular answer that is not accommodated in the draft memo is applicable to our school. So you can only do that if you utilize the day the paper is written to prepare for that. Colleagues, it is imperative that you know that on the day the paper is written, there is no marking that is starting. Just pack up those scripts, hand them to the relevant teacher who's teaching those classes, let them sign for them, and then pack them away. They can only start marking the following day. At 1 o'clock, it is time now for our teachers to converge in that central venue, and our coordinators subject coordinators from head office, the subject facilitators from our districts will converge, and together they will conduct the memo discussion with us as teachers whilst we are in that room. And then immediately after our memo discussion with our provincial coordinators, then we can start our marking. Remember, colleagues, the day one when the DBE is conducting memo discussion with the whole province, there will be a signed off memo, a memo that everyone across the country has agreed on the answers, that as a country in South Africa, all the grade 9 learners who are implementing GC will be utilizing this memo to mark their scripts. That sign-off memo is the one that we will be utilizing to mark. Now, this is the schedule for our memo discussion. I hope you have already received. If not, you'll receive the schedule so that you know as a chief invigilator that the paper that was written on the 10th, our memo discussion is the following day on the 11th. At 1 o'clock, colleagues, we know that our exams are running, our end of the year tests are running, so we don't want to disturb that. So the memo discussions will start at 1 o'clock. Please note that for African languages, they will run concurrently, colleagues. Note that. So if you are teaching both isiXhosa and isiZulu, which is very unlikely, know that the memo discussion is running simultaneously. Now you'll receive the links from your GC coordinators at the district. They will send you this document which has links electronically, so that on the day of a meeting you don't have to run around or phone around. You just join using the link that is provided. Remember, one laptop. Now, the marking guideline discussion, colleagues, are imperative that all our teachers sign. We are expecting the chief invigilator to keep a register of all those teachers who have converged in one room and they are participating in the virtual memo discussion. We want to see the attendance register from the chief invigilator. As I've indicated, marking is done at school level. I don't have to go through the fact that you're using a red pen to mark, colleagues, is a given. And remember that according to our policy, we are given 3 days minimum for finishing our marking, except for big papers, but it is stipulated in the school assessment policy, colleagues. Now we are requesting humbly that the chief invigilator coordinate this feedback form. In other words, during the day the paper is written, when your teachers are converging in one place and they are discussing using the draft memo, they are preparing for the following day for the provincial memo discussion, give them, distribute this form, the feedback form, because DBE would like to hear from teachers. But colleagues, you can complete one form as a team of English home language teachers. You can complete one form on behalf of the school. The chief invigilator makes sure that the form is emailed, scanned, and emailed to your GEC coordinator at the end of the day. It's imperative, colleagues. Remember, we want to give DBE feedback. We want DBE to improve. We want DBE to hear our recommendations as teachers at schools. Now, recording and reporting colleagues, we are utilizing SASMs. Those that are utilizing third party, you know that you have to make sure that your third party it adheres to SASMs. It duplicate SASMs. It's a replica of SASMs. Now, it's important that SMT verify those mark sheets. This is just a reminder, colleagues. It is imperative. Now, colleagues, you have received a memo in April that stipulates when exams for primary schools is supposed to be starting, when exams for secondary schools is supposed to be starting, for mid-year and for end of the year. Please revisit that memo. And then we reissued an amendment because some of the dates changed. Then the amendment memo was also sent to you. Colleagues, we are aware that some of our schools, when the NSC papers are starting, when the NXC exam starts on the 22nd of November, teaching and learning stops in our schools, and our internal grades are administering end of the year exam, end of the year test, which is not allowed. It is not allowed, and we are aware, colleagues. Let us afford those learners to be taught the rest of the ATP just like it is stipulated in the policy in term 4 before we start the end of the year exams. Now, these are the amended days according to the memo that was sent to you. So you must have 2 memos in your possession. Now, recording and reporting, colleagues, it is as it is stipulated in our policy. I'm not going to go through it. And colleagues, post-moderation is going to be conducted. I'm talking to the GEC colleagues. For 2025, we won't be able to conduct post-moderation provincially for MTBEE. But we expect post-moderation to be conducted by the departmental heads as usual. 10% of all the scripts in mathematics, 10% of all the scripts in NS Tech must be moderated by the departmental head, and there must be evidence. Yes, districts, we also encourage you to choose your 10% from the 10% that was moderated by the departmental head, so that there is history that we can see. Now, in terms of GEC, we are going to expect you to moderate, post-moderate at the school as departmental heads, district to moderate as we did last year, as well as the provincial moderation. So it's all the way up to the DBE. The last level to moderate our GEC selected sample will be the DBE, colleagues, just like we conducted in 2024. Now, this is just a reminder, colleagues, that we use a red ink to mark. The green ink is utilized by our departmental heads to moderate. And then the higher levels have their own colors as well. Colleagues, DBE is requesting the GC school coordinator to select a sample of 25 learners. That will be done through the GC district coordinator. Colleagues, they will guide you in everything that you need to do. Now, colleagues, a final push. We are aware that GC curriculum tests, the bulk of it is multiple choice questions, colleagues. Let us not take for granted that multiple choice questions are easy. They might be easy for us as adults, but our learners are not used to them. So we are pleading with you to expose our grade 9 learners in GC schools to 2024 and beyond curriculum test question papers and the memo. Let them practice using them. Let them be exposed to answering multiple choice questions. Please, our teachers must take our learners through the do's and don'ts when answering multiple choice questions. It might look simple, but it is complicated if one doesn't know the do's and the don'ts. Please utilize the link there from eCubed to expose your learners to their previous question papers, colleagues. It is very, very imperative. We don't want to surprise our learners. We don't want to shock them. Colleagues, we have reached the end of our presentation. Can I be allowed, Chairperson, to read out the message that the AMD has written for our beloved GEC coordinators as well as the SAT coordinators. As we approach the end of the academic year, we'd like to extend our heartfelt appreciation for your hard work, your dedication and unwavering commitment throughout the year, your efforts in coordinating and implementing the GEC and the SAT activities. Remember, as SAT coordinator, we rely on you in terms of assessment, have contributed greatly to maintaining high standards of assessment and ensuring the smooth functioning and school-based assessment processes. As the schools close for the recess period, we wish all of you well-deserved rest and quality time with your families. May the holidays bring you peace, joy, and renewed energy for the year. With sincere appreciation, Assessment Management Directorate. Thank you so much, colleagues.
Wow, wow. Thank you very much for the presentation. I'm sure we can all agree that it was comprehensive enough that we are all now ready to go and embark on this very crucial project, our GEC. And now we all have added the 20 schools for grade 4. It's very much interesting that we start so early to introduce our young ones to the formal test, the exit examinations as early as grade 4. I think we can all agree, colleagues, that when the time of examinations comes, we've got a huge responsibility that we have to ensure that we protect the integrity of our curriculum tests at different grades. One of that now has gained a lot of popularity is our GEC. So we have to step up our game, bring our A game in our function to ensure that this exam is also taken seriously. Grade 9 is very crucial because that's when our learners, they have to make sure that they choose the subjects that they are going to enter with in their FET phase, because it now predicts their long future career path. So it is important that we support them according to their strengths, and also we direct them according to their careers. So now, as we are part of this assessment project, it is an assessment that is indeed leading to the foundation of the subject choices to our learners, and ensuring that our learners are at ease. Their potential is unlocked in a positive way, and ensure that whosoever that they want to choose the skills and live out the FET, they are not misled. And maybe later they want to come back and join the school, then it becomes difficult because their minds are not very much prepared to face the gap and also cover that gap that they have missed. So now, as we are going to take part in the GEC, let's make sure that our learners are very much comfortable. We like to also alert our new colleagues that maybe have just joined the GEC, especially in the district level, because that's where things, they get heated, because we've got a line function that we're preparing for the next year. We've got the grade 12 exams, so sometimes the things get conflicted. And also at schools as well. Let's do our readiness. Colleagues, we've got bigger teams at schools, and sometimes there would be that kind of a competition where we are saying, there's a grade 12 examinations, because I'm teaching grade 9, now I need to move out. I think there's a time that we have to sit as teams and ensure that we've got our roles clearly identified, so that we don't have conflicting messages when we meet our learners. It is important that we formulate those examination teams so that we give each other space and also the preparations as well. When I was looking at the dates on the 10th of when we are writing home language, I think most of the learners will be writing at schools. So it means it becomes a bigger task, whether do we have resources, do we have enough teams to ensure that the examination gets its credible attention. So it is important that we do the center readiness internally, prepare our learners. Let's have our briefing sessions with them, because once we start the formal process, now they see strangers coming in their mix. Now they start panicking. They are not too sure whether they're still doing the right thing. And now they also want to go to the FET. They would also like to try new things because they've been told that the GEC now is going to get them to a different level. And it is a paper that is set at a national level. So everything, it becomes hyped, and now their concentration level is now tested. So, and also our emotions as well as the teams, because we want to see ourselves performing. We want to see our best. Now we need to make sure that we try to calm down as possible. I think the best move is to concentrate more on a child more than our personal issues when it comes to such matters. So it is important that we look at this GEC as really a task that we need to handle as a team. Colleagues, without wasting more of our time, we were monitoring the chart. On the chart, we were just checking the questions. And when I look at the questions and also the attendance, we like to appreciate the attendance. More than 500 attendees were on the Zoom link, and we have noted 170 attendees on the YouTube link, which means there were people who were watching us live from the YouTube. We really appreciate that, colleagues. It shows the determination and the type of commitment that you have towards this project, colleagues. One question that was raised, our presenter here, Ms. Mapula, is going to answer these questions. One question that was raised, are our colleagues going to get the answer books that will be distributed to the learners? That's one of the questions. Can you answer that while I'm checking the chat?
Oh, thank you, Chairperson. Colleagues, yes, remember that the package from the DBE comes as a question paper and the answer book. Question paper and the answer book. So when you print, you'll be required to print the question paper as well as the answer book, colleagues. For MTBEE is the same. You will receive the answer books that learners should utilize when administering the tests. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it's clear, colleagues, you are going to get the material prepacked, answer books and the question papers must be kept secured at your strong rooms. The key custody must be known. We don't want to find ourselves wanting. By the time the examination starts, we don't know who keeps the key. Hence, we are stressing upon that there is a need that you contact the center readiness internally to ensure that who's keeping the keys, at what time do we go and fetch the key, the question paper, at what point do we meet for briefing, who's sitting where, when, who is the relief invigilator at room 1, who's doing what, who's managing the crowd outside the school so that we are all calm. We should be a functional school. A functional school can be seen at the entrance of the school, at the gate. You can see if somebody must give you access to the school. We don't want to find our schools accessed by strangers and maybe even get some people getting hurt. I think we have witnessed one case at Westbury, which was quite disturbing, where the people just entered the school. So we must have some controlled access, colleagues. So that is one question. There's also one question that says the answer books. Let me just read the question. Are we writing provincial papers across the phase or just grade 9 for all subjects?
Thank you, Chairperson. The provincial papers, colleagues, are administered by our schools of skill that are offering talk. The Elson schools that are in GEC that are offering technical occupational curriculum, TOC. They are the ones that are administering provincial papers that are set provincially. However, the GEC mainstream schools will be administering the national curriculum test or national tests that are coming from the DBE. The rest of the grades in the GC schools, in the MTBEE schools, the rest of the grades are administering school-based tests, end of the year tests for grade 4, school-based end of the year examination for grade 8, grade 10, grade 11 colleagues. So GEC is administered by the grade 9 in GC schools only. MTBEE is administered by the grade 4 in the 20 piloting schools only. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I hope that is clear. And another question, even though it's not really crafted completely, say something about the answer books for Sesotho and English. Do we have separate books that are specifically for particular languages?
Colleagues, remember for the MTBEE, I'm not sure as to what colleague is looking for, but the MTBEE, when learners are responding to the test, it is 80%, I think, it is 80% English and 20% African languages, but it is imperative, colleagues. That is why when I flag the presentation, I emphasize circular S11 of 2025. Let's go back to that circular. If you do not know it, please request it from your SAT coordinator. Go through the circular. It stipulates each and everything. Now, as we have indicated, the question papers will come with the provided answer sheets. There is no answer sheet that is allocated for a language. An answer sheet is applicable for English, Setswana, and Sesotho. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The link is the same for everyone. I mean, the answer books, not specific for particular subjects.
Yes.
You'll only write on the cover the subject description
Yes.
that is written on the day.
Yes.
Okay. Then there is also the issues of the links and the password that will be received on the day. Who's receiving this?
Colleagues, colleagues must be present in trainings. However, we'll respond. We said that the GEC coordinators at the district, your GEC coordinators, will send you a link with all the GEC question papers. The district assessment officials for intermediate phase at district will send you, the MTBEE schools, the link with MTBEE question papers. Inside that link, you'll find different question papers that you are supposed to administer. However, you cannot open them yet. So the link, we are going to expect all schools to receive them by the 4th latest. So it's either Monday the 3rd or Tuesday the 4th of November. All our MTBEE schools, all our GC schools will have the link with the question papers in their possession through the chief invigilator. And then on the 15th, not the 15th, the Wednesday before the 10th, 3 days ahead of the 10th, your chief invigilator will have received the password from the district to open a question paper, which will be printed and then packed and put away safely for administration on the 10th. So colleagues, we are receiving all the links by Monday or Tuesday, the 3rd or the 4th.
Thank you very much. I hope that has been explained well. There's another question here that says, for those schools that have bigger numbers when it comes to making copies, the stapling of those papers manually, I'm just thinking that maybe they're speaking of the schools that they've got a machine that can print, but you don't have the one that can staple the papers. It will take some time to staple the papers. Can we get assistance from the subject teachers?
Yeah, colleagues, remember, that is why we are officially appointing a chief invigilator. That person is the principal of the administration of that national test. Immediately after being appointed, get your examination teams together. You know your teachers, appoint people who will be in charge of printing, packaging, stapling, and ensuring that all the question papers are ready for administration. Just ensure that those people understand their responsibility to avoid the leaking of papers. Make sure that they sign the declaration of confidentiality, colleagues, and make sure that nothing leaves the printing area. Colleagues, is imperative. The dustbin inside the printing venue is confidential. It must be, handled with confidence, if I'm not mistaken. There must be somebody who takes care of that dustbin and ensure that the question papers that are thrown inside that dustbin are shredded. So the chief invigilator, you're going to work with the principal to ensure that there is no leak. So yes, if there's a need for you to look for teachers who are not teaching that subject, by the way, and those teachers ensure that they don't have grade 9 children who are in grade 9. We don't want to make that mistake. When you identify your teams, then they can assist in stapling in a designated area and ensure that no one leaves with a question paper after the stapling. Colleagues, we are aware that our grade 9 learners, the numbers are crazy. We are aware. And we wish you all the best, colleagues, but we believe that with planning, you'll be able to manage those big numbers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, colleagues. I think that the issues of the question papers is really a critical part of our examinations, and we must make sure that that's where we protect the integrity of the examinations, and also taking care of the chain of who is touching those papers. It should be short as possible. That's what DBE always stresses upon, that there shouldn't be a lot of hands around the question paper before it arrives at the examination venue. So the chief invigilator, when he sits with his team, he must make sure that he selects the individuals that will be dedicated for that particular job. And we must also sign on the day for the purpose of why you were in contact with the question paper, so that we can able to get the trail of who has been authorized to do what during the particular period. So it is important that we protect these examinations as much as we are protecting the grade 12s colleagues. As we go forward, checking more questions. We don't have a lot, though. There's another one that says, we'd like to know how many scripts to be submitted for the post-moderation.
Okay. Colleagues, it is imperative that all the national assessment instructions, all the national assessment circulars that were shared with you by your district are read. Please, if you do not have that, ask that from your GEC coordinator. Colleagues, when we send documentation from DBE, when we send documentation from head office, it is not supposed to be with the SAT coordinator or the GC coordinator. It is for all the relevant colleagues. Distribute to all the grade 9 teachers and make them sign for those documents. That information is stipulated in those documents, colleagues. Please go through them, read, and if there are questions, you are welcome to send us an email for clarity. But it is imperative that we go through those documents before we start with our exam.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are also getting some chats, messages that says there is no register. I'll request the team to repost the register on the chat. Maybe it has moved up, but we have posted it, I think, 3 times already on the chat box. Please do check, but we'll request the team to repost it. Another question is, there are learners who are doing mathematics in Sesotho, are they going to receive the Sesotho question paper or the English question paper?
Chairperson, I'm going to send colleagues back to reading S11. You have to read S11. And the MTBEE schools, you have been trained on an administration of MTBEE tests. From the beginning of the year, you have been exposed to curriculum coordinators who have been taking you through. So do not panic. Let us receive the question papers next week. Let us open each question paper as and when the password is sent. And if there are questions, I have 3 days with you. The district coordinators have 3 days with you to run around and give you advice or contact DBE. So don't worry about the question papers. It is as it was stipulated to you during training, colleagues.
Okay, thank you very much. And another question here is, in case the learner is absent, will they get another chance to write the examinations, or we recalculate, or there's a backup paper? How do we manage that one?
Colleagues, remember that the GEC papers are replacing our normal end of the year school-based tests. The MTBE, mathematics and NS Tech question papers are replacing the normal mathematics and NS Tech end of the year tests that the grade 4s are administering. Now, what is it that we have been utilizing for learners who miss the end of the year examination? Besides writing the national papers, what is the protocol according to assessment policy in your school? Colleagues, it is unfortunate that with the national papers, there's no allocation that is made for backup papers, no backup paper. Colleagues, and it is unacceptable for a learner to be exposed to the same question papers that the other learners administered on the 10th. And then the learner, because he was absent on the 10th with a valid reason, the learner then is given the same paper on the 11th to administer. We have to adhere to the timetable. If I miss that English home language paper with valid reasons on the 10th, I cannot be given a backup paper. But we can recalculate. SASAMs have those features. Our district assessment officials will help us. They will monitor that and they will support us on what exactly to do. But we'll take it case by case. It is imperative, colleagues, that we emphasize to our learners, to our parents, that they must make sure that as much as possible, they must adhere to the dates that are released from DBE. Make sure that their learners are administering those end of the year tests and examination. There's no backup paper. We have to recalculate. Go to the policy, colleagues, revisit the N4PR in terms of what are valid reasons. They must be valid reasons according to policy. So it is imperative that they are administering the test. If there is a valid reason, recalculate, colleagues, according to policy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, there is another concern that says, how does one apply to be a chief invigilator? It's not a matter of application, I suppose. At school, the principal will decide who might lead the GEC. Maybe at school there is already somebody who's responsible for the GEC. Maybe the principal might decide to nominate that person or the other person, provided that person is available, and we can all see the potential at the school level. So we're going to leave it to the schools whom they choose to be the chief invigilator at the school. Because most of our grade 9 schools, they are located within the secondary schools that are offering the FET. So it could not be sometimes possible that the very same person who's the chief invigilator becomes the chief invigilator with the GEC as well. So we must choose a different person than the one that who's already leading the grade 12s.
Chairperson, if I might add, colleagues, we indicated in the presentation that we are recommending the GC coordinator. Remember that for you to be a GC coordinator, you must be an SMT member, a member of the management. If not, it's fine. It is the discretion of the school. But the principal, as the accounting officer, must make that decision. If the GC coordinator is a post-level 1 teacher and the school doesn't feel comfortable, it is their discretion, colleagues. But as long as we are communicating with our district coordinators to say, in our school, we don't have an SMT member as the chief invigilator, we are recommending this person. Talk to your district coordinator, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, some of the questions, I think, is the repetition of what we've already spoken about and what we have already addressed. And the other matters of the list of schools that are participating, we will share that with the presentation, and also the list of those, the MTBBE schools. We'll also share the list of schools that are participating, those 20 schools. We don't have to mention the names here, but we will share the list of the schools that are participating and with the presentation when we are sharing with our colleagues. Hence, we have requested that please make sure that when we fill in the register, you provide the correct email address so that we don't miss any information when we are sharing with your colleagues. So please make sure that when you fill in the register, your email is correctly and accurately completed. We don't have a lot of questions. And also at your schools, please establish a center of contact so that in case of emergencies, the parents, the learners, the district, the schools, the head office must know who's the relevant person to contact. And let's also maybe keep the list of the contacts for our learners as well. Some of our learners, they may have their cell phones, but it's also important to keep the contact of someone at home, maybe one member of the family and maybe somebody from outside. Some of the learners, they may keep their cell phones coming to school, and maybe they may be robbed the very same phone that we're trying to contact them from. So let's keep the contacts for the learners. By the time when we sit for the examination, you can see that this person is not here. We must try to make means just to check where they are they okay, and all that. And some of the learners, because of the stress level during this time, they easily get sick. They might just get that being upset, stomach bug while they're writing. We'll allow them to cool down. Then you allow them to continue to write so that you avoid a lot of absentee and the missed gaps during the reconciliation of the mark sheets. Then we compensate the time that is lost while we're trying to assist the learner to recover. Maybe we might also experience some emergencies. Maybe there is an unrest around the area, they arrive late. I'm sure we can attend and manage those cases. But let's have something that we distribute to our learners that forms kind of a guideline to say, in case of this, this is what happens, or who do you contact? And also maybe to have sent some bulk messages to the parents as well, so that we get that kind of a support. Our learners are still young. I can just imagine their GEC. Now we are formalizing everything. So the stress level will just rise. So colleagues, we just praying for the support. I think we have come to the end of most of our questions. Anything that may come after these, colleagues, we will then communicate. We will send the emails. We're still available on our emails. But let me also allow Ms. Lindsay to maybe to also send the details where you can contact her in case you get stuck, or we'll also share the list of the coordinators that you can also contact wherever you are.
That is correct, Chairperson. Colleagues, we'll share with you the list of your district coordinators, but we believe that you are also in their WhatsApp groups, because we encourage our GC coordinators for the district to have WhatsApp groups with each and every one of you. But it doesn't matter, we'll send you, when you send the presentation, we'll also share the contact details. My contact details are also in the presentation, colleagues, and in the forms that you are going to receive. So, but the point of contact is your district first, and then they will contact us if they cannot assist you there and there. But let's not keep quiet, let's talk, let's communicate. Each and every challenge, let us scream about it and not keep quiet. And then afterwards, when we come and monitor, then you tell us the following day, colleagues. It's imperative, colleagues, that we accommodate those learners. Colleagues, we must remember that accommodations are not applicable only in NSC grade 12 or grade 10, 11, and 12. Those learners who have approved accommodations that are approved by the DBEC, they must receive letters. Those letters must be displayed when learners are administering these tests, colleagues, so that any monitor can see whilst monitoring that Mapula Lenzui has 5 minutes extra time, or Mapula Lenzui need 5-minute breaks during the administration. Any accommodation that the learner has been awarded, it must be printed out, and the learner must carry it every day when they come for the national test, colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you very much, colleagues. I think we have addressed all the key issues in our presentation. As Ms. Lindsay has indicated, let's continue to have these discussions until we start our examinations on the 10th of November. We don't have a lot of time. If you feel just hear the number 10 while we're in October, it feels as if we are still too far, but it's only the week after. We only have a few days. So if we're counting down from now, just leave out the weekends. We only left around with 6 days or so, 6 working days. So I think we have to tighten up all our loose screws and ensure that we are ready, conduct your center readiness, cleanliness at our centers, because sometimes it could be those little things that can compromise our examinations, and we don't take it very serious to say, oh no, we did not sweep the classrooms. Why? There's nothing wrong about that. It could be also the source of our copying. If there are papers that are lying all over, then they throw the papers and they use that as script notes, and then now we compromise our examinations or our assessment. So let's make sure that we kept our environment highly secured. Please have a briefing with your team at the gate, access that is gained at our schools. They must be aware that there'll be new people that will be entering their space, because there'll be monitors coming to visit of different nature. You must also just give a briefing on how are they going to conduct, how they're going to present themselves when such strangers come, what they should expect if there's a person coming to visit the school, where to direct them. So those are the minor things sometimes that we overlook and say whenever there are parents meeting, they know exactly what to do. But this is a critical moment for everyone. Let's make sure that we support each other more than anything. Let's support our learners. Let's put them at ease. Otherwise, colleagues, we appreciate your presence. Let's continue to discuss whatever frustrations that we may have. We have come to the end of our presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, colleagues. Thank you. All the best. Remember, be in contact with your GC coordinator at the district. Be in contact with the district assessment official, those MTBEE schools. We are here to support you all the way. And all the best, colleagues. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Ke leng ke mumuzela. Where?